Good evening, students. Welcome to the new class. Today I'll be teaching you chapter 1 of the book Moments, The Lost Child. This story is written by Mulk Raj Anand. Let's know something about Mulk Raj Anand. He is a major Indian author of Indian writing in English. His main writings are based on the Indian themes, Indian people, downtrodden society, weaker sections of the society who are being exploited are the major subjects of his stories. He took an active part in the freedom struggle movement. When country was under the British influence, he was one of the active member in the freedom struggle movement, and that is the reason he can relate well with the sufferings and the problems of the Indian people. And due to his recognition and the contribution in the society, not only as an English writer but also as a freedom struggle participator, he has been awarded as a Padma Bhushan in 1968. So let's start with the story, The Lost Child. This story presents a strong bond between a child and his parents. As you all know, the first guide or a mentor in a child's life is his parents, because they are the first person who introduces the child to this strange and the weird world. So, for a child, the very safest place a child can ever feel is parents' presence only. So, this story is about a child for whom nothing matters when it comes to his parents' presence and the love. He feels safe in their presence, and when he gets out of the sight of his parents, when the parents are not around, what's the situation he faces? The story is all about that chaos and mess in his life. So, we'll start with the text. It was the festival of spring. From the wintry shades of narrow lanes and alleys emerged a gaily clad humanity. So, this time which has been described in the story is the spring season, and the air is quite cool, and people from different communities are coming from narrow streets and narrow lanes, and they are all following their way to the fair. Some walked, some rode on horses, others sat, being carried in bamboo and bullock carts. So, the condition of the people going to the fair is as some are walking on foot, and some are riding on horses, and some are sitting on the bullock carts, and they are being carried to the fair. One little boy ran between his father's legs, brimming over with life and laughter. So, there's a sight of a boy who is a little boy. The age is not mentioned, but it's told us that it's a little boy who is running between his father's leg and is very excited to go to the fair, because children love fairs. So he is also very excited, and that is why he is gleaming with joy and laughter, just because he is going to fair with his parents. Come, child, come, called his parents as he lagged behind, fascinated by the toys in the shops that lined the way. So while he was going on the way to the fair, he saw many shops of having toys. So he just gets fascinated and attracted by those toys, and in the midst of watching those toys, he is lagged behind. So his parents called him that come, you are lagging behind, come and join us. He hurried towards his parents, his feet obedient to their call, his eyes still lingering on the receding toys. So he was very obedient to his parents' call, and after hearing the call from his parents, he left the toys and he just went towards his parent. But although he was going towards his parent, but his mind and his heart was on the sight of those receding toys. Though he was moving towards his parent, पर उसका जो मन था, his entire concentration was on the toys only. As he came to where they had stopped to wait for him, he could not suppress the desire of his heart, even though he well knew the old cold stare of refusal in their eyes. I want that toy, he pleaded. So he was very well aware that his parents will not buy him toys, and they will have a straight no to his wish of getting the toys. But still, he was not able to hide his desire of having a toy, and he pleaded to them that I really want a toy. I want a toy, he pleaded. His father looked at him red eyed in his familiar tyrant's way. His mother, melted by the free spirit of the day, was tender, and giving him her finger to hold, said, "Look, child, what is before you." Now, the difference between the mother's and the father's attitude is shown here, because fathers are quite stern, so he sees him with red eye. That is, he is angry with his demand of getting the toys, and he just try to tell him through his eyes that no, you can't demand for a toy. It's not meant for you because they are not going to buy it for them. But the mother, being kind and tender by heart, she tries to distract the child's attention from those toys, and for distracting the child from the toys, she says to her that, "Come, child, come, you look what is before you." Though she is trying to just distract the child from the toys. It was a flowering mustard field, pale like melting gold, as it swept across miles and miles of even land. A group of dragonflies were bustling about on their gaudy purple wings, intercepting the flight of a lone black bee or butterfly in search of sweetness from the flowers. So now, after getting distracted from the toys, the next sight he sees is a big mustard field, which is being compared to a melting gold. And it's not just a small piece of land, rather, it's a big, big, big miles of land that is all surrounded by mustard only. So he gets excited and fascinated by the sight of natural scenery. Natural scenery is now described in this scene. So he sees, next thing he gets attracted to is dragonflies who were just bustling about in the air, and he also sees butterflies and bees and insects who were hovering around the flowers so that they can get an opportunity to suck the nectar from the flowers, because it's a natural tendency of the bees and the butterflies to get nectar from the flowers, which is sweet in taste. So similarly here also, the bees and insects and all the butterflies hovering around the flowers were in the opportunity to get the nectar from the flowers. So this scene excites and attracts the boy's attention. So totally attention is now drifted towards the natural scenery rather than on being on the toys. The child followed them in the air with his gaze till one of them would still its wings and rest, and he would try to catch it. But it would go fluttering, flapping up into the air when he had almost caught it in his hands. So now the child was following the butterflies in the air with so much of amazement. He is very happy and he is just following them so that he can get a chance to catch them. And as he was about to catch them, and when he was about to catch them, they would just go fluttering and flapping in the air. They were not in control of the boy's desire of having them in his hands, rather they used to fly up and up in the air. Then his mother gave a cautionary call, "Come, child, come, come on to the footpath." He ran towards his parents gaily and walked abreast of them for a while being, however, soon left behind, attracted by the little insect and worms along the footpath that were teeming out from their hiding places to enjoy the sunshine. Now, when he was busy in catching the butterfly, when almost he was about to catch it, but it just flew in the air, his mother again called him and told him that, "Come, child, come, come on to the footpath." And now, when he is moving on the footpath, he is now attracted to the little insects and the worms that were coming on the footpath, and they were coming out from their resting places to enjoy the sunshine. So now here also the natural surroundings has been described, wherein the boy gets attracted towards the sight of insect and worms, those who are coming out from their resting places just to enjoy the sunshine. However, "Come, child, come," his parents called from the shade of a grove where they had seated themselves on the edge of a well. He ran towards them. So now the parents were quite tired of walking through the way to the fair. So they both were sitting on the edge of a well, and there was a grove, big flower garden type, and they were resting there. Now they are calling the child towards them that, "Come, beta, come. Yahan pe aao. You don't have to be there. You just come with us." A shower of young flowers fell upon the child as he entered the grove, and forgetting his parents, he began to gather the raining petals in his hands. So now, after being distracted from insect and worms, as the moment the child entered the grove, shower of flowers फेल अपॉन द चाइल्ड. पूरा जो फ्लावर का एक बारिश टाइप का होता है, डैट फॉल्स अपॉन द चाइल्ड, एंड forgetting his parents, he began to gather the raining petals in his hand. And as the leaves were flowing upon him, he started collecting the petals in his hands, and he forgot his parents. But lo, he heard the cooing of doves and ran towards his parents, shouting, "The dove, the dove." Now he was collecting the petals in his hands, but then again he was distracted by the cooing of doves. Bird was flying there, and it was just taking out the sound. Cooing is a particular voice made by a dove. And now he ran towards his parents and he tells them, "The dove, the dove." Now he is excited and fascinated by the dove. The raining petals dropped from his forgotten hands. "Come, child, come," they called to the child, who had now gone running in wild capers round the banyan tree, and gathering him up, they took the narrow winding footpath which led to the fair through the mustard fields. So now, after collecting the petals, he was getting fascinated by the dove. Now, again, when his parents called him, then again he forgets about those petals also, and he moves towards his parents. And now he is running happily and gaily around the banyan tree, and his parents took him to the narrow lane footpath, and they all are heading towards the fair through the mustard fields. As they neared the village, the child could see many other footpaths full of throngs converging to the whirlpool of the fair, and felt at once repelled and fascinated by the confusion of the world he was entering. So now, as they were coming close to the village, the child was able to see that there were many footpaths, and they all were converging to make its way to the fair. And as he was entering the fair, he was amazed and he was confused with the chaos and the crowd that he was seeing in the fair, because fair is not a just one or two people affair, rather it's a crowd's affair. A crowd of people go and visit fair, and so he gets very confused and amazed with the chaos and mess he sees in the fair. A sweet meller A sweetmeat seller hawked gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi, jalebi at the corner of the entrance, and a crowd pressed round his counter at the foot of an architecture of many colored sweets decorated with leaves of silver and gold. So, as the moment they enter the fair, the very first shop they encounter is of a sweetmeat seller. He is having a shop where he is selling sweet dishes, and variety of sweets were decorated on his counter, and people were passing through, and they were just having a sight of all the sweets. So when the boy enters the fair with his parents, the very first shop which he encounters is of a sweetmeat seller. The child stared open eyed, and his mouth watered for the burfi that was his favorite sweets. Now, among all the sweets, his favorite burfi was also lying there. And after having the sight of the burfi, he gets water in his mouth. It's natural that when you get to hear about your favorite dish or you see your favorite dish, your mouth gets watery. That means that you want to have that dish, you want to have that sweet. In the same way, when the child sees barfi, which is his favorite dish, on the variety displayed on the counter, he also gets the desire to have that barfi. The child stared open-eyed and his mouth watered for the burfi that was his favorite sweet. "I want that burfi," he slowly murmured. So he was not very loud enough. He murmured within him that "I want that burfi." But he half knew as he begged that his plea would not be heeded, because his parents would say he was greedy. So without waiting for an answer, he moved on. But he knew very well that again his parents will be denying his request of having a barfi, because they will think that now he is getting greedy. Now he is asking for sweets. So he thinks that now, if I'll ask my parents for the barfi, they will say that now you are getting greedy. So he suppressed his desire and he moved on, because he knew well in advance that his parents will not will not buy sweets for him. तो इस टाइम इसने रिक्वेस्ट नहीं की. He just suppressed his desire in his heart and he moved on. So the first shop he encounters in the fair is of a sweet meat seller. His favorite sweet is barfi, which he wanted badly, but because he knew that his parents would not get it to him, so he moved on by suppressing his desire in his heart.